G'day my damies, Topcat here and welcome back to the channel. I wanted to talk to you guys about the Spectral Hunter super, as it got two buffs this week. This melee based super has an uber quick light attack and a heavy similar to a Street Fighter style blade kick that will weaken your targets and once again put you into the shadows. In this week's patch we received a 66% damage increase to all its attacks and a 30% damage buff against our champions. This is on top of the bonuses that we already got during that roaming super buff, so one might hope that this super is actually good now. Pre-buff we were doing 31k heavy attack, and this now jumps to 52,000, and our light attacks were doing 25,000, now doing 41k. Our max damage output on bosses was around 480,000. This is now around 725,000. Now unfortunately this doesn't correlate to that 66% damage buff, as we should be doing a little bit closer to 790,000. The problem is, its hit registration is worse than a yellow bus T-ball league. Now the super has been in a tough spot for a long time. It used to be a lot of fun inside the Crucible, but was kind of nerfed into the ground with the whole roamings going wild, but it never really found its place inside PvE. It barely does any AoE damage, as this melee attack is designed to slice at a singular target. I think this is an inherent flaw with the super, as all our other roaming supers like Hammers, Tickle Fingers and Silk Strike chain damage easily. You could probably double this super's damage and it still wouldn't be broken, just effective. Being a roaming super, it's not going to get used in many DPS situations, as we got all those burst supers and bait and switch damage rotations. The main issue though boils down to that hit registration, as it's tough to hit one target multiple times, much like my love life. It does have several things I like it pairs really well with Styles Executioner, as we'll start with our uppercut to weaken, slice, slice and dice, we get a kill, we go invis, and then every subsequent light attack will also take us into the shadows once we get the kill. If I was Bungo, I would have taken this chance to upgrade the Gwizin's Vest, perhaps return it to that old school way, giving us massive amounts of super energy whenever we get that Guile style blade kick kill. I would have also decreased the super drain, maybe going from that 12 second close to an 18 second window, as its strength compared to the tether is that it has more range of motion. Unfortunately with that timer we don't really get to explore it all that much. Now the biggest problem is champion stuns. Now there's two workarounds I've found, putting 2 grenades from our Anarchy on our unstops before we pop, as with that kinetic impacts and that artifact, we'll manage to get 2 stuns per champion. This is in a master loss sector and we can take down double unstop champions with that one super. The second way is that we can equip a suppressor grenade, as we can actually throw this whilst we're in our super to stun overload champs. That said, this can be a double-edged sword, because you need to get that timing just right. Whenever taking on overload champs, really do need to burst them down. It takes about half a super to drop one of these champions, and if you get the timing wrong, you won't only find yourself up shit creek without a paddle, but you will find that overload shoved that paddle up your bumhole. Because this window is so poor, you can often find yourself chucking that suppression nade, going in for the kill, and actually nuking yourself. I don't think Bungie will be able to fix the glancing problem, so I would just double that damage again, making this a much more effective roaming super. Ooh. And I would add Volatile to the Gwizin Exotic chest piece. I would go further, making a massive overhaul to Void 3.0, as both our Nova Warp and Sentinel can apply Volatile, and I would make it so these volatile particles can actually pierce barrier shields. We've already got the rounds doing it, but for a truly effective roaming subclass, you need some way to take on champions. All our other roaming supers have a way to do this, but Void 3.0, being the original, has been left in the past. I think this is a fairly easy fix to what otherwise is a great subclass, and it would actually make these supers viable again, as using both the Nova Warp and Sentinel are tough, but still kind of useless inside content for this reason. If after all my bad mouthing you are still wanting to give the super a go, and I haven't swayed you away, my kit here revolves around being invisible, weakening, finishing to throw out massive amounts of volatile and weaken effects, so we can spam breaches, funding out Devour. The closer we are to the kills, the more super energy we get, and we can further debuff with our weapon through Void Hegemony. Now feel free to pause here for all my mods, fragments and artifact, but there will be a dim link in the description down below. But I've mainly done this as an opinion piece. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. I think this season Bungie done a great job of revamping and revitalizing our stasis, but now Void 3.0 needs a similar treatment. Make sure to thumb it if you dug it, sub if you're new, and as always, tippy time my damies, what a time!